Today, Sunday, 8th January, we celebrate the Feast of Epiphany. It is on that day the East Orthodox churches celebrate their Christmas. This is also called Old Christmas. It is according to Gregorian calendar that we celebrate Christmas on the 25th December. Today, the first reading is taken from the book of Prophet Isaiah, chapter 61 to 6. The prophet is trying to cheer the exiles by foretelling the glorious future of the New Jerusalem, which is not yet rebuilt. To quote the prophet, "And the Gentiles shall walk in thy light, and kings in the brightness of thy rising." The words of Isaiah were not understood by his hearers at that time, but it was only understood in the coming of the Magi to welcome Christ that they were really fulfilled. Second reading, which is not read today, is taken from the letter of St. Paul to the Ephesians, chapter 3, verses 2, 3, 5, 6. St. Paul's thoughts in prison in Rome are not of himself nor of his impending death that awaits him. He is thinking instead of the mission Christ gave him to evangelize the Gentile nations. That is why the church celebrates him as the apostle of the Gentiles. The gospel of today feast is from the gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 2, 1 to 12. Matthew is the only evangelist who reports this episode. Not much information is given in the scriptures about the Magi from the east, having the names Melchizedek, Gaspar, and Balthasar, though the Magi were the central personage in today's feast of the Epiphany. They were pagans who did not know the true God of the Jews, yet that the true God revealed to them that the king promised to the Jews had come. Magi had come from the great distance where they first saw the star and realized that it was connected to the Palestine and are come to worship him. The Jews believed that the heavenly sign was to announce the birth of the new Jewish king. The wise men had seen their heavenly sight in the east and come to Jerusalem, the capital of Judah, expecting, of course, to find the city and the whole country rejoicing in festive mood. Instead, they found suspicion and hatred in the reigning king. A hatred which in a few days turned to murder, killing the innocent children. Among the religious leaders, they found knowledge of the past history, but utter indifference. These leaders knew the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. They must have realized that the Magi were very sure of the truth revealed to them. They would not have come such a long, tedious, dangerous journey on a fool's errand. In spite of that, the thoughts of going to Bethlehem with the Magi never occurred in the minds of the Jews. They wanted their Messiah, political power, bringing earthly freedom and prosperity. Had the Magi known the real mind, they would probably have sought their information regarding his birthplace in some other quarters. But God overruled it to draw the noble testimony to the predicted birthplace of Messiah from the highest ecclesiastical authority in the nation. To quote the Bible, Herod had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law. He asked them where the Messiah was to be born. At the birth of Christ, he revealed himself to the shepherd, the poor, uneducated nomads tending their sheep in the field. Today, he discloses himself to the rich. We know from the gifts they brought. Men of learning, perhaps astronomers or astrologers. They were well read men, seem to have known the Jewish scriptures. We see men eager to know the truth, and God revealed to them in stages. The star which they saw in the east had disappeared in the interval, went before them, and stood over where the young child was. A great theologian, Henri Dudupac, French Jesuit, in his book Sous le Chemin de Dieu, says that God needs to be rediscovered in stages, sometimes believing that we are losing Him. Teaches us, in short, not to close God within our own mindset. This is also the danger, the temptation to make ourselves a God of our measures. Let us resolve today to make Magi our models to follow, the Star of Bethlehem, and offer Christ all our best that we have and are. Thank you.